Hello and welcome to Just One More Watch. Welcome today to my review of the latest $99 Hottie from Timex. Now that is a line that I did not think I would be uttering until relatively recently. A couple of years ago the Timex catalogue was full of worthy but dull chronographs and their Expedition and Expedition Scout ranges, but not much else. It has been transformed over the last 2 to 3 years, starting with the Todd Snyder collaborations, then on to the Marlin, which I've yet to get my hands on. They released the big hit, the surprise hit of late 2019 in the form of their Q model. Those things were everywhere. They then backed that up by releasing an automatic version, the M79, and have continued to release mostly kind of retro style watches over the course of 2020, including this one, the Milano XL. It was none other than Mr. X that spotted this and said, hey Jody, get one in for review and then I'll buy it off you. So that is what's happening. These are $99 on the leather strap. They're $119 list price on the bracelet. They do a black one, a gold one and a stainless steel one. I was able to get the stainless steel for about $100. I'll leave some links in the description of the video to start you off, but as always, shop around for the best deal. Now, I've been wearing this one for a week or so. Controversially, I reckon this is a better long-term wear than the equivalently priced model Seiko 5. Controversial because this is quartz. You don't get everything for your $100. There are a number of shortcomings. I'm going to flip the review around, therefore I'm going to talk about the negatives first before going on to the positives, and I think it's a really stylish, simple but refined and classy looking watch. If you're okay with wearing your watch a certain way, that way being loose. Let's flip the camera and get on with it. 2 Timex on the channel in the space of a month, who knew? Both of them came supplied in the same little matte grey box, perfectly commensurate with the price paid. Both of them also came with a 2-year warranty. Now I reckon that's okay, especially considering it's a quartz watch. Usual instruction manual, which I have no intention of reading, some kind of social media bump in here. Hang tag, which suggests $125, but like I said, I got mine for 160 Aussie, which is about 100 USD, and enough spare links, I reckon, for about an 8.5 inch wrist. Though this is the Milano XL. XL is relative, it is a 38.5mm watch, so I don't know, it depends on you, depends on whether you like to wear your watches slightly larger or slightly smaller. 38 to 42 really is my sweet spot. That's the zone that I go for. I've had no problems at all with this one. That is a handsome looking little watch. Really nice, really clean, really classy. Designed in Milan, hence the name Milano XL. Inspired by the slightly cushion cased kind of dressy sports watches of the 1970s that had an all stainless construction, same as this one does. So I measure it at 38.5mm in diameter. Less than 12mm thick quartz module in here. They doesn't have to be particularly thick. 46 lug to lug, 20mm lug width. Because it's vintage style, 70s style, there is a bit of taper on that bracelet down to 16 at the clasp. Sized up for me, or not quite sized up for me, as will be discussed shortly. This one weighs in at 117 grams. When a watch is below 120 grams, I don't mind so much wearing it low and loose around the wrist knuckle. That's just as well, because this one you're pretty much forced to do that. So 3-piece all stainless steel case, high polished bezel, interesting mixture of finishes. There's a longitudinal brush on the mid case, high polish on those kind of slightly cushioned chamfered edges, and a radial brushing to the upper case. It's an all brush bracelet. Nice little Timex. Now if I align that properly, that's TX. Timex sign crown. Again, nice little touch here for your $99. The bracelet itself, we have hollow end links, but they are solid links. Now it is a kind of faux 3-piece oyster. They're only single links there, but they're not rolled. No hairs being nipped here, which is one reason why I have enjoyed this one. One reason why I suggest if you're looking for a kind of dressy daily that you should have a look at these in addition to the Seiko 5s. Just push pins. I had no problem sizing it up, and we have a pressed clasp. Again, you get a big brand on the front of the dial, but you don't necessarily get all the bells and whistles. You also are restricted to a flat piece of mineral crystal with this one, and obviously the quartz module. The quartz though, it's doing a pretty good job of hitting those indexes, and it is such a clean looking watch. It really is. Applied baton indexes all round, and there's some nice facets to that handset. Just Timex and water resistant printed on, and a cutout for quite a well integrated, discreet looking date complication there at the 3 o'clock, and the font they've chosen for the date I think matches the font they've they've chosen for the Timex and the water resistant on the dial quite nicely. There is a strong silver sunburst effect to the dial, and I don't think there's any anti-reflective coating on the mineral crystal, but it's a really stylish, crisp, elegant, classy looking watch for your $100 today, I think. Case back is just press on, it's not a screw down crown either, but 50 meters of water resistance. I was a little bit miffed when I saw it just said water resistant on the dial, I thought that meant 30, but 50 is a bit of a bonus in this type of watch. 50 is really the minimum you would be looking before you took a watch in the pool or the shower with you. 100 would be comfortable. 50 maybe not so comfortable, but at least you won't be running for cover every time it rains. Alright, well let's do the moans and niggles. Look, it's quartz and it's mineral crystal, but I'm not really going to moan about that. I think for $100 with a nice brand name on the dial, I'm prepared to accept both of those compromises. What I am going to complain about though is the lume. There is a little bit of lume on the hands and a sliver down the middle of those very attractive baton indexes. I've got fresh Duracells in my UV torch and the macro lens on. This is as good as it's ever going to look, and it doesn't look all that good. After a couple of hours in real terms, the lume is pretty much useless. Nice that they thought about it, but they didn't really do a great job of it. But my biggest moan about this watch, and I've alluded to it a couple of times, is the fact that there are no micro adjusts with this clasp, no half links available. You're sizing this one by the full link. Now there's at least a centimetre, I think it's like 1.2 centimetres between the push pins there. So chances are you're either going to get this one a little bit too loose or a little bit too tight. With one link out, it's a little bit too tight for me. With one link in, it's a little bit too loose for me. So if you normally wear your watches above the knuckle like this, you might be struggling because of the bracelet. With this one, with that extra link added in, I'm pretty much forced to wear it low and loose and on the knuckle, below the knuckle. I don't have a massive problem with it because it's a well thought out, comfortable watch. The crown's small, the links, like I said, are solid, they're not rolled, so they're not taking the hairs off my arm, and it's light at 117 grams. But it's not as good as it could be with half links. That's really all they needed to do, just give us one half link. That is, of course, easily remedied by putting your watch on a leather strap or just buying the leather strap variant in the first place. Now 20mm lugs, again, another reason why I prefer this to the Seiko 5s, which have 18mm lug width. I've got far more 20mm lug width straps, and it's also a slightly larger, slightly more masculine look that you get from 20mm lugs rather than from 18. But if you're okay with leather, or you are okay wearing it slightly loose, if that's where you are naturally inclined to wear your watches anyway, I reckon this is one handsome looking watch for around the $100 mark. Really clean, really stylish looking. I think they've nailed that whole 70s vibe. The head of the watch feels pretty solid, some nice little touches like that sign crown as well. You know, the hollow end links and press clasp could have been improved, but they're not an impediment. Overall, the watch feels pretty good. Those solid links, as I said, it doesn't nip the hairs off your arms at all. I've really quite enjoyed wearing this one, and I must admit there is something nice about quartz. There's something nice about putting a watch on your bedside table, picking it up 2 days later, and not having to set the time. So carry on, Timex, you're doing a pretty good job as far as I can tell. I will try and get a Marlin in for review at some point and see what else I can dig out from their 2020 catalogue. But if this is anything to go by, I reckon they're only on their way back up as a budget brand. So there you have it, the Timex Milano XL. Is this going to be the big hit for Timex in the second half of 2020? Well, probably not. They've been out for over 6 months already and they haven't seemed to catch on, which I think is a shame. I think it's a really classy looking watch. Looks a lot more expensive than the price tag suggests. You don't get everything for your money. It's a quartz and you're paying a little bit extra than you would for that Timex branding on the dial. And why didn't they include some form of micro adjustment or at least half links in that bracelet? I think that would have been a sensible thing to do. But hey, if you're okay with wearing it low and loose on the wrist, this one I think offers a lot of style for not a lot of dollars. Thanks for watching. I will see you soon.